So this person here, obviously an Amber fan, you're being manipulated to hate Blake Lively, just like Amber Heard. It's always like the people who are standing for the people this type of person likes is being manipulated. We don't understand what's going on. We can't see the truth. In other words, we're stupid. So instead of reading the article, let's take a look at the video. Gonna accelerate the play speed a little bit. Here we go.
Back in May of 2022, I made a video about Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, which I understood at the time probably seemed to most people like a spicy hot take because it went against the overwhelming majority of online opinion at the time. But from my perspective at the time, I was just saying something blindingly obvious. People were being extremely critical of Heard while lauding Depp, not because of the details of their defamation lawsuit, but because of rampant misogyny. In the years since, I have been repeatedly proven right, and new details have recently emerged that show once again how correct I was, which normally would make me feel great because I like being correct.
I'm not sure what she's talking about, how she was proven correct. I thought Johnny won the case in Virginia based on evidence, testimony that the jury didn't believe from Amber's side, and things like that.
Except for the fact that these details have only come to light because the exact same thing is now happening to another woman. So first, a very brief overview of the Depp and Heard drama. If you somehow missed it or you didn't watch my previous videos, the two actors dated for several years, but were married for only about a year before Heard filed for divorce in 2016, at which point gossip columns around the world were suddenly talking about how evil Amber Heard is, forcing her team to release a statement saying that she was trying to keep everything private, but Johnny's PR team was clearly trying to vilify her by spreading misinformation. In 2018, Heard referred to herself in an article as a public figure representing domestic abuse.
Right, as she was trying to keep things private. Good point.
And despite the fact that he was never mentioned, Johnny Depp sued her for defamation. In 2020, Depp also sued.
All right, you know what? Let's get to the part with Blake Lively a little bit. We know the story here, but okay, we know where you stand. Okay, so she falls for this old trope that the Daily Wire and Ben Shapiro especially had some kind of campaign against Amber. All they had was content basically agreeing with the court and what they saw, and also that there were bots
and Instagram ads mocking and vilifying Amber Heard. Last year, I reported that experts examined 1 million social media posts in 2020 and 2021, and they agreed that more than half of them came from inauthentic accounts, meaning...
Okay, listen, 1 million ain't shit. My little channel has about 16 million right now. My little channel. There were social media accounts getting like 1 million views in like a week on it. So I'm sure 1 million were fake, but there was like 1.5 billion or something. 1 million would be like way under 1%. Whoa, 1 million.
Trolls and bots who posted identical messages praising Depp and insulting Heard and asking brands to drop Heard as an ambassador, among other things. One of the bot networks was...
Okay, move on to Blake.
Probably just a coincidence. All of that is well known by now, but the new news comes courtesy of a suspiciously similar story. The coordinated character assassination of Blake Lively following the premiere of her latest film, It Ends With Us. Now, I have not seen that movie because it looks awful and it's based on a book that looks even worse. But against my will in the past few months, I have learned that it is about domestic violence, and more so, I learned that Blake Lively was promoting this movie in a very disrespectful way by encouraging women to grab their friends, dress up in florals, and go out for a fun, empowering movie night to see this film. You know, the film about domestic violence. Not the best look. Well, it turns out that
okay, I guess we kind of agree there, sure.
Was just a tiny piece of propaganda meant to vilify Lively, who was told by production to promote the movie in exactly that way and to avoid talking about the issue of domestic violence. This news comes courtesy of a complaint Lively filed last week against her co-star and the director of the film, Justin Baldoni, the film's producer, Jamie Heath, and several others. Lively has made a massive amount of evidence public with this filing, and you're free to read it in full if you'd like. As always, links to everything I discuss are in the transcript available at patreon.com/Rebecca or on skepchick.org, or you can find the direct link in the description box. But if you don't have time, I can give you a quick overview. In the complaint, Blake Lively detailed how she repeatedly complained about Baldoni, how he made sexual comments to her, how he violated her boundaries during the filming of It Ends With Us.
Okay, so why would he do that? What's the motive here for him to do that? He's directing the film, he's starring in it. What motive and reason does he have to potentially ruin his career if he really did this stuff? I'd say none. If he did, it would have to be some uncontrollable, impulsive thing that I'd guess he would have done in the past multiple times. It's not like you wake up one day and you get on this movie set and you're like, you know what? I'm just gonna harass and abuse Blake Lively, my co-star, for no reason. If he's got a long past history, well, maybe. I don't know his history as well as Johnny, but I haven't heard him ever in the news before, and I didn't know who he was before this.
Including Baldoni trying to add gratuitous sex scenes with her, improvising kissing scenes, describing his sex life to her, and showing her video of his naked wife. He even creepily whispered sexual things to her during a scene that was filmed with no sound. Lively told
Of course, it was filmed with no sound.
Production that she would require him to change his behavior and institute protective measures that are pretty much standard on other film sets, like hiring an intimacy coordinator and keeping the set secure and free of random friends and other people on the set while filming things like sex scenes. Many other people on set observed this behavior, and according to Lively's complaint, several other members of the crew also told production that Baldoni had been inappropriate.
Okay, so I've been through this before. I'm no expert. But from what I heard, there's closed sets for sex scenes, which means it's only the necessary people, camera people, director, whoever has to be there. And then there's open sets for sex scenes where they're just filming people with lights and doing the wires and things like that, and people going in and out. And you sign off to which one you are willing to do beforehand. That's what I gather. I could be wrong, but it makes sense. So it depends on which one Blake signed.
Production agreed to Lively's stipulations, and she was reassured enough to complete filming, though she and other cast members refused to do promotional events with Baldoni once the film premiered. So far, just a usual tale of a sleazebag, industry insider being a jerk to a woman he wants to control, sexualize, dominate, right? Well,
I love this language, man. Control, sexualize, dominate. For what? Why? What would be the benefit? What would be the point to that? I mean, if you say he's just doing it because he's some sick creep, well, that would mean he's done it before. Because you don't just become a sick creep magically one day. So where's the actual evidence? Where's the recordings he did this? Where's the evidence aside from what she said?
it's about to get so much worse. Lively could hardly help but notice the sudden increase in attacks on her character happening online and in the gossip rags, with people criticizing not just her promotion of the film, but also saying that she was a bully who tried to get the rights to the film's sequel, that she tried to wrestle creative control from the director, that she was a privileged bitch who was weaponizing feminism for her own gains. On and on and on. So she got a subpoena and ended up with a metric fuck ton of text that revealed that Baldoni and Heath were worried that Lively would reveal Baldoni's sexual harassment after the film premiered. And so they decided to hire a public relations firm called the Agency Group with the express purpose of destroying Lively's reputation and, quote, burying her. The Agency Group, run by Melissa Nathan, promised to manipulate social media networks like TikTok, Reddit, and Instagram using a digital army of paid trolls to post and boost negative stories about Lively and her family. They were so successful that the team was astonished, with Nathan texting their also female publicists things like, "The majority of socials are so pro-Justin and I don't even agree with half of them, LOL," and bragging that Baldoni doesn't even know how lucky he is because the internet was filled with so much hate for Lively, despite the fact that there is so much dirt on Baldoni.
Well, I'm waiting for my paycheck as a paid troll. Please, somebody, give me the paycheck.
In the ear, the sexual connotations, like Jesus fucking Christ, other members feeling uncomfortable watching it. I mean, there's just so much, Nathan wrote. Meanwhile, Baldoni was out there receiving awards for being such a great ally to women, thanks in part to his request that the Agency Group focus on promoting how much he respects victims of domestic violence on TikTok. The New York Times details everything, and it's an absolutely horrific read. But the reason I bring this all up, because another client of Melissa Nathan and the Agency Group is Johnny Depp.
Okay.
It certainly looks as though they did the exact same excellent job in getting the entire internet to shit on Amber Heard. And boy, were they successful there. Not only did they get a jury of 12 people to agree that Amber Heard defamed Depp by saying that she had experienced domestic abuse, but it's been nearly 3 years since I pointed out the obvious fact that the hatred of Heard was baseless and artificial.
Well, baseless and artificial. Let's see why people hated Heard. Let's go way back to her manslaughter charge in Texas. Then let's jump forward to her DV abuse of her ex-girlfriend. Then let's jump forward to some illegal smuggling of dogs into Australia. Then let's go forward to her showing up to interviews, a lot of the time drunk, high, or something like that. Let's also not fail to mention she's very, very politically one-sided, which will also lose her a lot of fans and get her some criticism. And let's also not forget Johnny lost a finger, got a cigarette put out on him, and we've got the infamous audio, which is evidence to the fact that she was in fact the one who did it to Johnny.
And people are still commenting on that video to bash Heard. After we already know about the bots and the lies and the money funding the hatred, they're still leaving comments on a random YouTube video, and I don't think anybody's paying them anymore, at least. Heard have been
That's because nobody was ever paying them. They're fans of Johnny. That's it. Or abuse victims. Or both.
proven to faking injuries with makeup, which never happened. Misogynistic society, wow. Bruh.
She had the makeup kit in the picture she handed over to the court.
Johnny Depp literally had his career destroyed. He was bashed relentlessly online and he was dropped from his film franchises. He has 2 films currently in development and is in a reoccurring role in a series for.
Yeah, that took him like 6 fucking years to get back into the industry. 6 fucking years, maybe more. So? And yeah, by the way, ooh, awesome. Can't wait for those movies.
Children. Are you seriously saying he didn't go through all of that before Amber was exposed? And my favorite, lady, get over all this shit. It's now 2 years later, moves on for God's sake, which they posted on a video that's nearly 3 years old. Okay, I'll get over it. I'll end with a quote from the woman who, it seems, really helped make all of this hatred possible. Melissa Nathan texted this to Jennifer Abel after sharing how well socials were doing, supporting Baldoni and bashing Lively. It's actually sad because it just shows you how people really want to hate on women. Yeah, Melissa, it is really sad, isn't it?
Okay, here's the old, tired fucking trope. They've got to use women as a blunt weapon, this big blunt hammer to hit everything in sight. It's not women. I'm not going to stop saying it. It's celebrity women with motives to lie. Women, to me, are nurses, school teachers, police officers, secretaries, women. Like the 99.9% of women. The 0.0001% of women are the celebrities. And those are the ones I'm skeptical of. So don't fucking use the word women without some context. It's really, really off base. It really makes your argument a lot less impactful. Anyway, there's an article too. Look, man, this happened on a movie set. I always talk about having evidence and recordings and things like that. Well, what better place to have evidence and recordings than on a movie set? If Justin Baldoni was this creep, this harasser at work, surely at some point when some camera was on, something definitive would have come through. But we're still in the middle here of this. Maybe it'll go to court. I heard some people say it might not, but if it does, we shall see. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments. I'm doing pop culture, entertainment, things like that. If you're not subscribed here, consider it. If you don't subscribe, I'll be sad, but I'll get over it. See you next time.